Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Shouts, salutes to all the sincere elect out there. Keep pushing, man. Keep striving. Keep fighting on one side of this bitch. So the lesson for today, Lord willing, we're going in the spirit for the most part. Is something to the effect of the prophets. The prophets of old have never been choir boys. Something to that effect. Let's start with the precept Exodus chapters 9 and 16.
Verse 16.
Yeah, that's great.
This is Exodus 9 and verse 16. It says, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Yeah. All right. Now read one.
Exodus 9 and 1.
Yeah. Jump up to 1.
Exodus
and then come back and jump back down to 15 and then 16 again.
So Exodus 9 and 1 says, then the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the Most High of the Hebrews, let my people go.
Yep, that's what happened, right? In the times of when we were under that heavy, strict regime, the posh, under the Egyptians, man. Right? So we know through our elders, our apostles, the Great Millstone, and our big brothers, the bishops, right? We know in our previous lives as well what it's like. And we know through this life as well what it's like to be under slavery, right? We still have to, we're subject to payments and all of that, the national insurance numbers, and brothers got their testimonies. So when you read from that, because that's where we're kind of going, that's where we're going in that direction. The message that was given to Pharaoh through Moses. Can you read that? 15 and 16 in the NLT.
So this is Exodus 9 and verse 15 in the NLT, New Living Translation. By now I could have lifted my hand and struck you with your people with a plague to wipe you off the face of the earth.
Words of Yahweh, right? The Lord in capital is Yahweh. Yep.
Verse 16, still in the NLT. But I have spared you for a purpose, to show you my power and to spread my fame throughout the earth.
Yep, and you can apply that to the same today. It was through Moses. It was through Moses the prophet. Meek Moses giving the message to Pharaoh in those times when we were under bondage. So what did they not resent him? Right? The Pharaoh, the God of that time, resented him. So what do they do today with the word that we be pushing? It's resentment. It's pure resentment, and we're nobody. We don't believe we're not pushing ourselves around and flaunting ourselves like we're any kind of superheroes, you know. But what we opened up with to back that precept up, go to Ecclesiastes 3, Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And to the best of our ability, we're going to let the scriptures speak. And you can read from the top.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven.
Yeah, you can read up to 3.
Verse 2, it says, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Yeah. So we get the idea. Carry on.
Verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal.
There you go, man.
A time to break down and a time to build up.
Yeah, the prophets of the Lord, right? They were never choir boys, have never been known to be choir boys. For those that know their history, now it's a different story in the Christian church. Some of us were choir boys. You know, some of us had, some form of assignments. You know, me, former Jehovah's Witness. And we were, what do you call it, pacified, or some brothers like to say pussified. But now we're awoken to who we are, and we are a threat.
Yeah.
As one of the elders was saying, man, You know, we have to walk circumspect. You know, land backing off the the energy for what the elders have been pushing out through the little, which I've already done a video on it, through the little what you call it, dilemma that happened with a brother over there in Canada, and around, was it a day before? It might have been the day before. It might have been the day after. I had a vision. I mentioned it in one of my videos. I want to speak to you know, a particular elder who's good with breaking down visions and stuff. So we was me and a particular person that I knew from back in the world. We were speaking about we was going to go somewhere. We went to all I remember is that we saw some big, what looked like kind of how you say, when some forest, but there's the word for the gate is like some kind of big. When you see a big tree, what do you say to yourself? When you see a big tree that's kind of stands out, awe-inspiring, you know, something that it stood out with us. The gate stood out with us. So we said we're gonna go in there. I said it to the guy, and it's almost like back in the world when you're young and you want to explore stuff. And I said to him, we're gonna go in there, but make sure you keep watch. Make sure you keep watch. What's that word? The word I hate when I can't remember a word.
About what?
No, not that. It's something else in the back of my mind. Something that stands out.
What needle in a haystack?
No, like hold on. When something's mega. That's it. The word big. It was like mega. Gigantic. Mega gates. Anyway, I just need to remember that. But so we was entering to this. Me and him, a guy I knew from the world. Right? We don't know why we get visions. We don't know why we get certain dreams. Once again, prophets did get visions and dreams. And I said to him, I looked behind me when we was in there, and I said, and I looked, and there was about 5 to about 8 Edomite looking guys, and I looked a bit closer and I saw the colours red, white and blue. And when I was talking to you about it, yes, skinheads, they were skinheads, and back in the 60s and the 50s and the like 70s and the 80s, you had something people called skinheads. You had mods and rockers, you know, there's a lot to it. You had rude boys, but they had skinheads and mods. They were like gangs, and they never liked each other. So you may have heard about it. You can pull it up on YouTube. The skinheads and the mods fights up there in West End and all that, Blackpool and all that. Mods and rockers up there in Blackpool, South End. I said West End, South End. It was well known. So, and also they didn't like Jakes too. They didn't like black people. But it's funny because you had some black skinheads as well. You know, Jake be into everything, and you had black mods as well. And I knew some. But the moral, what I got from the vision, the moral of the story is why I said to the guy, keep watch, and he never. So that's one, because behind us they blocked off the gate when we was into this place. That's one moral of the story. And two, I saw another entrance to the place out of it, because they blocked off the entrance. So they was looking to find what they call it, kettle or ambush or trap us, right? And land backing off what's been taking place with what today you got the National Guard. What they're doing when the late one elder, probably there's more since last night, but the video I watched last night, Elder Apostle Tahar saying that the National Guard have gone into Chicago and they're trying all kind, they're arresting certain people. They know who they want. You gonna say something?
Yeah, it's just it's a lot. Apostle Tahar doing a video on the Latin tribe. What he was playing it from a news channel, and then the mother was saying it was actually young individuals that were getting.
Yes, some little. The mother was running with their babies in them baby holders.
Yeah. And
they were trying gas. What do you call them? Smoke bombs.
Yeah.
Into the crowd, and it was chaotic. But he said, so for the message to you brothers is here. Jacob's trouble is here. Why the brothers, and that little incident was like the most highlight that happened, right? Which brothers have done they've done their 2 senses on it. Yeah. Elder, the LA camp elder, and I like the point that camp elder of LA, his point, and also the point of Elder Malcolm was that don't let people get too close to you. Now, that goes for now you could be at camp. It's the same thing applies. For me, it applies to me anywhere, anyway. A quick thing that happened when I was doing my little walk and talk the other day. I was just taking my little breather in a particular place where I usually go. Sat down for a minute or two. Next thing I know, I look up, there was a man standing right there, right? Just there, and his dog was kind of, people can walk in their dogs and that. He was right standing next to me. As a matter of fact, you could read that precept again.
Another one.
I'll read it now and then I explain.
So this is Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. It says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
Yeah. So yeah, so what in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to apply that scripture. When the guy stood up next to me, it's not about just doing videos and talking about it. When the guy stood up next to me, the whole park, for the most part, they had a load of. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking down there. There's a bench there. There's a bench there. There's a bench there. Yeah. Why is he there, standing there? And then he sat down. Why is he sitting next to me? So I just instantly I got up. Now, some people might say I'm paranoid, but and also the energy that was on this person. He had a certain energy on him, and I believe he was an Edomite. But also the energy that I had on him. Now they can come peaceful. Scriptures talk about never trust thine enemy. Now I'm not trying to say be paranoid, brothers, because if you're on the bus or you're in any form of transport, you're gonna deal with that. People gonna be sitting next to you. Me, I just got a certain. I pick up energies.
You read spirits.
I read spirits, and I say one more thing, and then read that again. I was on, and this is not me just getting on the nigger, but I was on a train a little while back, and then you had about 3 nigger women, right? And I was on what they call it when you're on the
bus.
No, on the train. You call them little things, carts or whatever they call them. Yeah. Right? On that cart. If you have a cart there, you have a cart. Yeah, I was on that cart, right? And I'm thinking I've got a little way to go, and you've got nigger women there. I think they had a little bit to drink, getting a bit loud. So the first thing that's on my mind is, where's the next fucking stop, man? Where's the next stop? Cut a long story short, as soon as the stop came, I got off and I went on the next one. I don't care what people think. If I don't want to be next to you, and I know there's a way for me to avoid any kind of drama, unnecessary stupidity, I'm going to do it. So I got off and I moved from it, Big Shirleys or whoever they were. Doesn't matter if they were Big Shirleys or not. It could have been Edomite woman, it could have been any kind of woman bringing me to make me feel uncomfortable. It just so happened that they were Big Shirleys, and
the tips,
and they had a little bit to drink. And it's not only Big Shirleys that be doing it. All kinds of folly be taking place in the tube. So you make read that again. Read that again.
This is Ephesians 5 verse 15. It says here, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
Yeah. What does it say in the NLT? Let me see what that says. Yeah, and then break it down.
Yeah.
Because I want to spend a little bit of time on that, because the elder was stressing, as we're using that thing as a teaching moment, and also he was stressing exercising. He was stressing exercising. Some brothers, it's just a normal thing for some brothers, but some brothers, obviously, if it's not your thing, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Go on.
This is Ephesians 5 and 15 to 16 in the NLT. It says, so be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days.
Yeah. I would say avoid unnecessary stupidity. Something that I remember hearing like years ago. Just avoid unnecessary stupidity.
Okay.
And if you do find yourself in a conundrum, a dilemma, learn from it.
There's a bit more.
You just learn from it. All right, so I read it.
In the NLT, Ephesians 5 and 17, don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. So reading the Spirit, that's what that goes into. Apostle Raphael was talking about, bro's got to learn to be able to discern spirits, man, because he was talking about how certain vessels can come in say they want to ask a vessel,
Ask a question.
Yeah.
Yep.
They want to ask a question. You know, Apostle Ricard said, as a response, no, we're not accepting questions right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying it from his, from what he said. I think it was one of the lines that happened yesterday that Apostle Ricard did. So the point is, we've got to be able to read into spirits, discern spirits. Is he coming in sincerely? Is he not coming in sincerely? His brothers are already attuned, in the spirit to know, all right, this brother, well, I say this brother, but this vessel here, whether heathen or Jake, comes sincerely, or, well, for a heathen, they can't really see the truth anyway, but for a Jake, we're talking about, because this scripture is only for Jake. If they come sincerely, we'll know through the spirit of Yahweh Shemeshach or Hakodesh, and if they don't come sincerely, we'll know as well. And we know this because it says in the scriptures. This is Acts 1 and verse 8. Because Yahweh has given us the Spirit, and that's what we know, that's what we believe.
Yep.
So Acts 1 and verse 8, it says, "But ye shall receive power after the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth, which is reference to America." So of course the prophets being everywhere, we will preach this word because we've been given the power through Yahweh.
Yep. Hence, Moses had to go up against the authorities of those days, so-called gods of those days, who Pharaoh was worshipped as a god.
Yeah.
And he was risen up, back to that point, Pharaoh was risen up, only so that he could be brought down, so that the other nation would give it the glory and respect him, and also someone as humble as Moses, be acknowledged. Hence, today, we're going up against, as you say, Most High has given us the power and not fear. To back up what you said there as well about Elder Apostle, all right, you can read it then. 2 Timothy, I think you had it on board, yeah? 2 Timothy chapters 2, 2 Timothy chapters 2 and 23 and 24.
Alright, so this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 23 to 24 in the KJV. It says, "But foolish and unlearned questions avoid."
Yeah, so that's what basically, there was a time now when we was a bit more open.
Yeah.
There was a time when we was a little bit more open to it's all good. To we call it debates and questions, and just we call it open sessions, question sessions. But scriptures, carry on.
Says, 2 Timothy 2 and 23, "But foolish and unlearned questions avoid."
So we avoid foolish and unlearned. You kind of broke it down already. Most are giving us the spirit of discernment. Yeah. Go on.
Almost. It says, "Knowing that they do Hold on. It says, "Knowing that they do gender strifes," which means they provoke arguments.
That's right.
So it says in verse 24, "And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient."
Yeah, I'm going to read that one as well in the NLT. It says, in the 24, it says, "A servant of the Lord must not quarrel, but must be kind to everyone." Right, that's kind enough. Right, but it's true. It is true. To everyone, to be able to teach and be patient with difficult people. No, it's on point. Yeah, when it is open question time. Yeah, for everybody. But we're moved on from that time now. There's, to avoid the unnecessary stupidity. Right, that's something that word stayed with me. Which gender strife and quarreling. So we earlier on in the truth, some of us may have been through some things, and for the most part, a lot of brothers, even our elders in our heads, they give us some, where they say now they're more seasoned, and some of the things where they used to be, right? In certain parts in America where it's really rough, they have to deal with certain things, and certain times they even got carnal. But we learn from them so that we don't have to do it now. Now, were there times when we had to do it? I remember one little quick testimony when we kind of was thrown in the deep end. Let me say it like that. This was a little while ago, and I'll say I am still young in the truth. I ain't speaking as if I'm some kind of I'm a young person in the truth, right? But when we was younger or newer, we was under a particular elder who wasn't he wasn't using discernment. He wasn't very discerning. He was in certain areas, and we had to deal with like there's times when we dealt with football hooligans, and what he would do, right? And a lot of brothers, you know, have testimonies. What he would do, he would get into these stupid, unnecessary debates and strifes, and when it gets hot in the kitchen, he would walk over there. He would walk away, right? We don't get too much into detail, and he would leave me. I was very new at the time. I was much younger, and it was a time when I was just holding the days when it was the camcorders. So I had one hand to hold the camcorder, the other one to fend off people. Fortunately, Most High, you know, he delivered us, and that's just one testimony. There's a lot of us, maybe for future videos, and also the police came just in time.
Okay, to stop it.
Just to stop it from getting out of hand, because I defended for the most part. I defended them off with one hand because I'm thinking I've got an assignment to do, and I wasn't going to drop the camera and run, but I defended it off. But the Spirit of the Lord came in the nick of time via through a police officer, and we can call police, but somebody else, or it's the Spirit of the Lord had the police be walking by, and they just come and just told it. These guys, these football hooligans could have been people like you hear about the NF or Tommy Robinson people,
EDO,
all them type of people, and we had to deal with that more than once. So when we see things like this, we're talking from a place of we've been there, even though we're still young in the truth. We've been there, and we're gonna learn from those mistakes.
Psalms 119 and verse 9. Psalms 115 and verse 9 says, "O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He is their help and their shield." You know, you were talking about the Old Testament of how the camp was, back in the day, where you had to fend off individuals like football hooligans. And of course, Yahweh Shem Yahushai was the help to the camp at that time. You know, this was before my time, by the way. So this is the brother's testimony. It says, "O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, he is their help and their shield." You know, that's why, when the police came as well, it's all through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to divide the strifes and arguments and all the chaos that was going on there as well. So we were reading.
Yeah, we're reading about strife. I've got a precept to look at, to go into it, aware of an example of elders have been pushing, not letting people get up too close to us. And if you know a little bit of combat, right, or if you exercising for that's one thing, right. And when we talk about exercising, right, it doesn't have to be like necessarily strenuous. There was a time I remember around 2021 where I was having I had a little ailment, and I was hearing about exercising. And this is a testimony as well, because when you get to a certain age, right, you might say, "Oh, it's just old age. You just got to let it play out."
That's an excuse.
And go into a corner and just, no. But I kept hearing about exercising, and I done my own little research. I found something tailor-made just for me, right? And I've spoken to brothers about this as well. And I went into my exercise. This is around 2021. So about 6 months in, I started to feel good again. I started to be healed, and I was healed from it. So yes, exercise is beneficial, as Timothy said. It's beneficial for a little. Yeah, bring that one out. And our elders have been pushing that exercise in the way of to stay fit, just in case someone comes up on you. You know what I mean? You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
This is 1 Timothy 4 and verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come. As it says, bodily exercise profiteth little, right? As the apostles, the elders, the Sequanium, which is the elders of the ancient Hebrew. They always say, but it's still profits though. That's the thing. It's why you thinking that it's a little bit, but it compounds, man. Every single day. Even if you're an elder brother, and then you can go for your walks.
Yeah.
Apostle Gabar.
There you go.
Of course, he's always on it as well when it comes to the cycling, the hiking,
Yep.
the walking, the miles as well. That he executes. So all of that, it shows you that age is
It's but a number.
Yes.
Even the world be saying that. Yeah.
Right.
It's but a number. Yeah.
So there's a profit to it. It doesn't mean that the profit is little that you shouldn't do it. No, you still do it and you still have your gain as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm a living example, and the elders, they're living examples. As you say, elder, be doing it. I use it as a way of killing multiple birds with one stone. Do your video, Lord willing. At the same time you do your little walks and talks.
Yeah.
You do your little thing off camera too as well. You don't know everything. Don't all have to be on camera.
Yeah.
And for those I remember speaking about these years ago. For those who may be disabled, because I remember I had an ailment. Brothers would never know how many times I've been in and out of hospital, but that's for another video. But if you want to check out exercises for people with disabilities, right, just some practical information I'm going to give here. You can tap in Tai Chi for people with for disabled people, and you're going to see people in wheelchairs. You're going to see people who with not 100%, but they're doing it, and it helps you with your heart. And your blood circulation. That's
You're
gonna say something. Go on.
Yeah, I've got a precept as well, and link to what you're saying as well. But the thing is, when you exercise, you're pumping new blood around your body as well. So of course, with that new blood that you have in your body, that makes you feel more alert and fresh. And of course, you're able.
And this is not, in way of disclaimer. This is not medical advice.
Correct.
Anything you do, like we say, you want to pull it up on Google. Right, we just
do your
and
research.
bringing out the scriptures as well to back it up too. But do your research.
That's the thing, because when you exercise, you realize, especially when you do it after a few days and then you're getting into that rhythm, you're going to be more motivated to do this work as well, the ministry.
Yeah.
If you got them,
you're gonna have a spring in your step.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not going to be lugging. Just to land back off what you're saying. Don't forget what we're going to say. You're not going to be lugging yourself to be, lugging yourself to the camp. Lugging yourself, if you're going to do a walk, lugging yourself, you're going to be doing it with a spring in your step.
Yeah.
With everything, with the power and the spirit of Yahweh Shemashai. We've got scriptures we're going to get into, Lord willing, to back that up as well.
So that's the fundamental
The
point.
most important thing is we need Yahweh Shemashai. Like my testimony of when I was doing my runs, I was having all the scriptures in my mind. Maybe I had my headphones on with some prayers going, just prayers. And as you say, the blood was circulating, but not only that,
Scriptures
the
were
scriptures was.
It's true.
That was I wasn't going to just give in. I wasn't going to be that guy. You see people. I'm not going to say my age, but you see people with walking sticks walking, and they be walking with walking sticks. I said, no, I'm not having that. And the Most High, now I've got a living testimony. Yes, it was the Spirit of the Lord that helped me do it. And also, where there's a will, there's a way.
So it's part of the ministry as well. You're a healthy body, you're able to do the work. Now it says here, Proverbs 1:5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. When the apostles talk about certain things to remove from the diet, of course also certain things to also execute as well as advice, that's seen as wise counsels that we can take heed to. So it's all part of the ministry, as we're getting healthier and we're able to increasing the profit of the work as well. Because again, healthy body, that goes hand in hand, with also having a clean spirit as well. You can't have like an unhealthy body and then the spirit's kind of a bit wavy.
Yeah, the body is the temple.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're mindful of what we put in our bodies. And so to get the peak performance to the best of our ability, that I already have been saying to us, to the best of your ability, eat clean. And there's things that you do, you're doing your research at the same time, you're learning on the job, and when you know something ain't, don't agree with you, your body's gonna tell you, it's gonna speak to you. No, go on.
Just I think it was 2 weeks ago, when Apostle Tar was made a video based on his diet as well. He mentioned about spinach having oxalates as well, which I think they have like a hindrance based on the joints. I got to do my research on that, but I know you can't really eat a whole bunch of spinach, man, because the excess of it will have its effect.
All right, man. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
'cause
that's a little
what
thing.
we're learning about from our elders is balance.
Calm,
It's a lot to do with balance. So we're going to back up the title of the video. The prophets of old were not choir boys, have never been choir boys. Let's get this precept in way of an example. Genesis chapter 14. Read from the top, and then we're going to read down to around that 14.
This is Genesis 14.
And if you notice this, in the blue letter, I'm seeing War of the Kings. Abraham rescued Lot. So we don't got to get to, read the whole chapter, but we're going to get the bullet points. Yeah.
Genesis 14 and verse 1 in the KJV. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, and Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. It says that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and the Bersha, king of Gomorrah.
Yep.
Shinar, king of Admah, and Shemaba, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar.
Right. Yeah. These are the you got Zeboim, Bela, and Zoar. That you your Sodom and Gomorrah. So you got all the 5 cities there.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Verse 3.
Yeah. Carry on. We're gonna get to the point. Yeah. Carry on.
Genesis 14 and 3. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea.
Yep.
12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled.
Tell you what, we just finish that one, and then when you finish that one, jump down to 8.
So verse 5, and in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzims in Ham, and the Emims in Shaver, Kiriathaim.
Yeah, so what they call that? They're on they're about they're spoiling. They're going on a spoiling mission, robbing and stealing. Right, carry on. When you jump down to 8 and then read to 14, gonna break it all down.
Oh, and it says verse 8. And
What did you say? You said a word.
War heist.
Right, heist. Yeah,
Oh,
taking
oh,
heist,
Yep,
taking no prisoners. Yep.
that's it. So verse 8 says, and there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same is Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim.
Right, carry on.
Jump to 14. Okay.
You can read on. Just read up to 14.
Verse 9 says, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and the Tidal king of the nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5.
Now jump to 11.
Right, so verse 11, it says, and they took all the goods of Sodom
There you go.
and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way.
Right, that's the heist in. Now jump to 14.
It says here, Genesis 14, verse 14.
They're just warming up now. They're just warming up. 14.
Yep. Verse 14, and when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan.
Right, see that? Right, read that again, Baba Kushai. Now read that in the NLT. Let me see what it says. I'm just curious.
Yep. Genesis 14 and verse 14. When Abram heard that his nephew Lot
Had been captured.
he mobilized
Mobilized. Yep.
the 318 trained men.
Boom. Trained men. Now that's what I took from that. Right, so there's nothing wrong with a little bit exercising. Brothers have been getting into it more. Right, me and the brother here, you know what I mean? We're getting into our thing. You know what I mean? Now we talk about something maybe a little bit, something that's very commercial, because it's commercial boxing. Right, but behind the scenes, right, we're gonna be getting into certain things. If you heard of the guillotine, locks. Right, because that's one of the first things that I was introduced to when I was younger. I had a mentor. Where I was brought up, I had a mentor, and he took me to gymnastics because I was always very. He noticed I was very flexible, and he's still doing his thing today, and he's a bit older than me. He's still doing his thing today. He does Tai Chi. and he took me to gymnastics, and he took me to judo, because for young people, to do the basics, to be flexible, to do the exercise, and he also took me so every day I was doing something. Now that goes back to being trained, man, and it's fortunate in the spirit. That was in the spirit that someone who was into all of that took me under his wing. So we prophets of the Lord that have, we're not choir boys, and the Christian church is what they be telling you. You don't got to do that. All you need to do is pray. No, that's not what the elders our elders be pushing. Yes, praying is important, and we're going to hit the precepts to back that up as well. But you finish 14, Baba Bushra.
Genesis 14 and 40. When Abraham heard that his nephew Lot had been captured,
Yep.
he mobilized the 318 trained
And
men.
it's just one example. Just one example. Yep. 318 trained men. Yep.
He had been born into his household.
Yep. Born into his household. So they was under his training.
Yep.
And the more you get into it, the more you see that Abraham weren't he took no prisoners. Let's carry on. Let the scripture going to speak.
It says, born into his household. Then he pursued Kedorlaomer,
Yep.
Kedorlaomer's army,
Yep.
until he caught up with them at Dan.
Right. Because these people, what you call infamous, you heard of the word pirates, infamous criminals, man. There was, and it's Amalekites as well. The more when you get into it, a lot of Amalekites going around doing that. And what did they you hear about what's happening over there in Babylon, and what Amalekites are doing, all the pedophilia and things. They found actual in New York a tunnel, right?
I saw that.
You gonna talk on it?
I saw that one, where that specific synagogue, I forgot the name, but they were actually had the tunnel routes, and you had the Amalekites, going under, and of course coming out of that mini tunnel.
Hence the word gutter rats. That wasn't even. I wasn't even trying to be funny, but see, everything's in the spirit, man. Yeah. They move around like rats. You know what I'm saying? Things have been taking place. All kinds of things. More things are going to come out about these gutter rats. Or I'm using code here. Small hats. With the people with the small hats with the big nose. These people, man, they've always been. I'm going to let the scripture speak. Yep, carry on. 15.
Verse 15.
Yeah, 15. You going to say something else?
No. Genesis 14 and 15 says, there he divided his men and attacked during the night.
See? We knew how to do ambush, man.
Skillful.
See, sometimes I'm wondering why there's times when I'm up at night. Not going to talk. This is YouTube. Strategizing, bro. Strategizing and wishing. But at the end of the day, we got to wait on the Lord. Right? But we ain't no choir boys here. You understand? Carry on reading.
It says in Genesis 14 and verse 15 again. There he.
Let me say it another way. Meditating in the spirit of the Lord. That's the right way to say it. Not sure.
Right.
Yeah, well, meditating, strategizing, because we have to continue to keep on praying, studying as well to show ourselves approved. And the spirit of the Lord. When the spirit of the Lord is on you, man, you can't. You have to comply.
Can't quench the spirit.
Can't.
Says in verse 15. There he divided his men and attacked during the night.
Yep.
Kedorlaomer's army fled, but Abraham chased them as far as Hobah, north.
You telling me them man, Abraham weren't no fit man? He weren't no young man though, but he was fit. Once again, when I was going through my thing, I wasn't going to cow down, man. Yeah. Which the Most High put it on us anyway. He puts sicknesses on us anyway.
True.
And then he lifts you up. Brothers, elders, captains have testimonies to back that up, so that he puts you there so that you can use the inbuilt ability that he gave you to heal. Yeah, we've got another one. We're going to bring this one out. We're going to bring out a good examples, because the elders, once again, Elder Malcolm had my senses, ticking over. What was that?
No, I was saying spark.
Yeah, he sparked. He when something sparked, he had me sparked, man. And I look back in hindsight, talking about grand work, right? What Elder Apostle Tahar also said with that person in question over there in Canada. Some man would have put that man to sleep. Some man would have put him, because you got certain men, you know. I'm going to say it like this. All them Maccabees, man, a lot of them man at the times of the Maccabees, right, the 7 brothers, Judas Maccabees, right, them man never take no prisoners. Once again, just to make the point, there wasn't no choir boys, right, and that could be some future videos we won't get into. Them man are back, right, he chased him, Abraham chased these men and he got everything back. You got one more example, and if you got any precepts you want to bring out, just bring them out. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 30. We can come back to that one, but I want to get this one. Second Chronicles chapters 5 and around 80. Down the spirit right now. I didn't have it down there, but I know that's a good one to bring out. Hold on, let me double check. Second Chronicles chapters 5. Yeah, bring out your precept.
Yeah, because you know, on the topic of Israelites being master tacticians as well, there was a time where David actually spared Saul as well, but he used a strategy of actually going to him in the night, and of course collecting a few things. He had to read it briefly, and then after he collected a few things, he then showed the incompetency of one of his high men, which I believe was let me check this here. Alright, so starting from verse 4. I'll start from verse 1. This is 1 Samuel 26 and verse 1. And the Ziphites came unto Saul to Gibeah, saying, Doth not David hide himself in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jeshimon? And obviously this was a time where Saul had that evil spirit upon him to keep pursuing David to try and kill him, especially finding out that he was anointed as well. So, and of course, him disobeying the Most High was really the reason why he had that evil spirit upon him too. Now, in terms of not killing the Amalekites earlier on in the chapters of 1 Samuel. So it says it in verse 2, Then Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. So of course, 3,000 men, Saul had 3,000 men to try and capture David. And it says in verse 3, that Saul pitched in the hill of Hachilah, which is before Jeshimon by the way, but David abode in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness.
Saul was acting cunningly, and he resented David because David was the actual king, or real king really. True. He was still king, but David was the pretender, the young pretender coming up. So he had that spirit against him.
The new generation.
Yeah. As they say, the young pretender coming up. What was going to bring true justice, because as we know, the spirit was taken from Saul. Yeah. Which King David brought true justice in the earth, and he ruled righteously. The rightful king.
It says in verse 4, David therefore sent out spies and understood that Saul was come in very deed. So David already was aware of Saul's cunningness and that. He was aware of his 3,000 men. Imagine you're trying to hide 3,000 men, in that area. Of course, sending out spies, you go see some people.
Well, let me say this, right? This is all in the spirit of the Lord. Because Esau, he becoming crouching, and if we take heed and we saw the lesson, that lesson, I'm just gonna say there's lessons for a reason, or things happen for a reason, and the spirit of, and you pray for the spirit of the Lord for discernment too, My thing, my new Hebrew word is I call upon the Lord. Shalak lahaya hakamaka.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
in the heat of the moment, you're asking
Yeah.
for wisdom.
Okay.
And now, why are you asking for wisdom? Because there may be dilemmas that you need wisdom from above to deal with it.
Yep.
Yes, there's such a thing called common sense, but even your common sense in the flesh can make it's not so common. You need wisdom from above. So send in the spirit of the Lord, send wisdom, send me some wisdom. Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha. It could be, just anything that just comes out of the blue, because we're always behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
And what did we have back then? We had swords, didn't it? We had swords,
yeah.
and we had shields. So our sword today, as David said, is the scriptures. The sword is the scriptures. What's in your mind, So what pursues out of your mouth is what our protection is. Yeah, carry on with that.
Yep. Come on. Verse 5, it says, And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld that the place where Saul lay, and Abner, the son of Ner, the captain of his host, I think that's the name to remember. It says here, and Saul lay in the trench, and the people pitched round about him. Because later on, Abner was confounded. His incompetency, the fact that no one was watching during the night. Let me read on. It says, Then answered, so 1 Samuel 26 and verse 6, Then answered David and said to Ahimelech the Hittite, and Abishai the son of Zeruiah, the brother of Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with thee. David and Abishai came to the people by night. See, this is the key part. It says, So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Saul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground at his bolster, but Abner and the people lay round about him. It says, Then said Abishai to David, The Most High hath delivered thine enemy into thine hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with the spear even to the earth at once, and I will not smite him the second time. So of course Abishai knew the affliction David has gone through, constantly on the run because of Saul and the evil spirit that was placed upon him. And Abishai just wanted to end it right there, right then and there. So verse 9 says, And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not, for who can stretch forth...
And Abishai was his nephew. When I done the research, fact check that. And Abishai had bodies, man. Abishai was
a
high kill count. He had bodies, and he was David. You might say, would I call him today? Bodyguards.
Yeah.
He got secret service, and he was under David, but he had more bodies. David was a warrior when you look into it, but David moved with killers, man. Straight killers.
Tens of thousands,
Yeah.
So it says in verse 9, And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? And in NLT it says here, in 1 Samuel 26 and verse 9, it says, No, David says, Don't kill him, for who can remain innocent after attacking the Lord's anointed one? So of course David still had the discernment.
Yeah.
He
was being spiritual.
Don't render evil for evil.
Yeah.
Verse 10.
And the Most High blessed him for that, because he could have took revenge there and then. But you know what happened? The eventuality of what happened to Saul.
Yeah.
He ended up getting judged anyway. He fell upon his own sword, and David had nothing to do with that. So he was blood free of that, free of any kind of blood guilt of killing one of the Lord's anointed. That goes back to us as well now. At this moment in time, you got the Edomites, them is ruling, and the scriptures tell us that if you take vengeance on, he said it to Cain. About Cain. He said it to Abel about Cain. If you take vengeance, vengeance shall be brought upon you sevenfold. Same way today, we see what's happening, and the Most High is rising them up. We opened up with it. Exodus chapters 9 and 16, and only for them to be brought down, for His name to be magnified. So we got to let that play out. We ain't gonna be we ain't gonna force the Most High's hand. You pray though. And we're using the examples today, but ultimately we ain't going to do them days it was about hands-on, and we're waiting for the time when it's going to be hands-on. Wait here on me till I rise to the pray. Exodus 16 and 16, have that on board as well at some point. Would you make it a point?
There's a time for every type of scenario. Like Ecclesiastes 3, that's
Yeah.
what I'm
Let's get Jeremiah 16
Right.
and 16, just to have that on board.
Yeah.
Just to have it on board if it comes out. But I've got something as well.
Right.
I'm going to get into some of this. 1 Samuel chapters 30.
See it?
Yeah, all right, we're all right. Let's read some of this. 1 Samuel chapters 32. Just to make the point of, or further the point. Yeah, let the scripture speak.
First Samuel Salaki, right?
1 Samuel chapters 30, and read from the top, verses 1 of chapters 30. If you notice the subheading there, David's victory over the Amalekites. You see these Amalekites, them gutter rats, man.
Constantly at war with Israel.
Anywhere where there's war, if you look over there today, where they are, a place where they ain't supposed to be, right? The bastards shall dwell in Asgard. There's war, and the scriptures say that about them.
I got it.
Have you got it? The water. Bring it out.
Just quickly, this is Exodus 17 and 16. For he said, because the Lord Yahweh hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So they're never at peace, man. That's why they got the Gaza thing going on right now.
Yeah.
Between Israel.
Speaking cold.
You got the war going over there in the Middle East.
You good.
So this is just another example as well of Israel. Well, the real Israel, us, fighting Amalek back in the day,
Right.
First Samuel 30.
Yeah.
So this is
And
first up.
it goes back to Genesis 27 as well. But I think we touched on it last week. How Eve felt about Jacob.
Yep.
He said that he swore in his heart when he was going to take vengeance. Yeah. Carry on.
This is First Samuel 30 and verse 1.
Yeah.
And it came to pass when David and his men.
Oh, the subheading is David destroys the Amalekites.
uh,
Right, and they know this. They know their end. They know our end. Hence why they're so resentful up to this very day.
yeah.
Right, National Guard's over there in Chicago. Oh, he swore. Nero, right, who's in the White House at the moment. If you could receive it, he swore that he actually said he sent in National Guard to 19 states. So once again, what the Elder Kabal said, it's not coming. Just here.
This is First Samuel 30 and verse 1.
We're gonna start wrapping up soon. We're out here. It's getting kind of chilly. Lord willing, yeah.
This is First Samuel 30 and verse 1. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south,
Yep.
and Ziklag smitten Ziklag,
Yeah. Amalekites.
and burned it
Gutter
in
rats.
fire.
This is how they used to get down. I say used to get down. They still be getting down like that now, right? But they do it and they hide their hands.
Yep.
Yep.
So verse 2, 1 Samuel 30 and 2, and had taken the women captives
Right.
that were therein, they slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way.
Yeah, I like the word you used earlier. They were on a heist.
Yeah.
Or there's another word as well. Taking spoil. Taking spoil. But this is a good story here, right here. It's a good story. Carry on.
Verse,
We're going to read up into read up. Just carry on.
Yeah. 1 Samuel 30 and verse 3. It says, so David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned.
Land backing off the elder once again. He sparked the fire in me once again. Beautiful. Elder Malcolm and the elder, I think it's one of them names where it takes a little while for me to be able to process it. It's one of the, them kind of
long
them
ones.
Hebrew names.
Yeah.
But he said there shouldn't be, certain people shouldn't be able to get up too close to you, man. Because there was an incident as well, I think it was a couple of years ago, where someone he knows from around the way, LA, that he's a security guard. I think I did do a video on it. And while he was doing his work in the corporate world, someone got close up to him and almost deleted him. You understand? So he's talking from he's talking from the heart. And got up close. He was doing the work, but you got over there in America. It's kind of they have open carry, they have closed carry.
True.
Certain things,
They're allowed, innit?
yeah, they're allowed according to the law. They've got stand your ground, no different types of things. Doesn't mean the same thing's not happening over here. The same thing does happen over here. It's just that America's a bit more open with it. You know what I mean? Over here it's more covert. They're more stiff upper lip. Knife crime. But trust me, I've seen Centurion police come out of a certain estate with weapons, but they're allowed to have weapons. The police, like rifles and stuff. It's not allowed for it to be cocked. If they have a weapon, they're pursuing someone or coming out of someone. They're allowed to have a weapon, but it's not allowed to be cocked. Stupidness. They still got a weapon.
What do you mean? Like it's got to have the safety.
Let's say they got a rifle.
Yeah.
And for a rifle to be cocked, it's got to be up, click, and pointing. So they have to make sure, even though they have to make sure it's not clicked and it's pointing down. In other words, not pointing the rifle towards anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean nothing. It's just a little loop.
Like a scare tactic.
It's a loophole. But they're armed. The point is that they are armed. Armed police officers, just like over in America. But they don't really like the way America does it. England, because England wants to be seen as more, they're the mother of Babylon. They want to be
softer.
They're not softer, but they want to be seen as the softer, as the more distinguished, the more respectful. They want to be seen as that. But we know they gave Babylon, the mother gave birth to Babylon.
Yep.
So they're not more respectful. They're just more covert. As we know, with their racism and everything else. So that's just the point.
So
they're just as wicked, but they just hide it better. That's all.
So this is 1 Samuel 30 and verse 3.
Yeah.
Again, and so David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire.
Right.
And their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives.
Yep.
And David and the people.
So we're going to look at, I've been using this word lately, problem, reaction, solution. Right? So Esau, he's got his on the left hand side. We got the Most High's got problem, reaction, solution. When you're dealing with the Most High, as I said to you the other day, Most High don't take no L. He doesn't take L. And where there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there in any divination against Jacob. Yeah. When we're refrained from any of those kind of sinful ways, we don't take L. And we've never taken an L, only when we step out.
Kryptonite.
The kryptonite, our kryptonite is what?
Sin.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
You said it. That's our kryptonite.
Right, so verse 4, it says, then David, so 1 Samuel 30 and verse 4, then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. And David's 2 wives were taken.
You notice how David was dealing with it though. David was letting it out. He was letting it all out. Let it out. At the same time, let's carry on reading.
It says and David's 2 wives were taken captives.
You can't get more, how do I say, you can't get lower than that. You can't hurt a man lower than that. You take his little jewelry, take a bit of his money, but you take his woman now? The baby mother and all of that. Let's carry on reading. So he was crying, man. He was sad. He was busting tears. He was busting some tears. Carry on.
Alright. Verse Samuel 30 and verse 4. Actually, not verse 4, verse 5. And David's 2 wives were taken captives. Ahinoam, the Jezreelites, the Jezreelites.
Yeah, he took that from. Yeah.
And Abigail, the wife of Nabal.
Yeah, he took that woman, that wife from Nabal.
Yeah.
He got his things, he had his what you call it, rewards for being a man of war and being a servant of the Lord, a son of the Lord, I should say. Yeah, servant of the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. So and Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite.
Yeah.
It says, and David was greatly distressed for the people.
So the point what the elder, I'm lambacking off the elder because he made some very good points, right? He said, just because you're serving the Lord, don't think horrible things can happen to you. Lambacking off being all, what's the word, man?
Lackadaisical.
Yeah, that's a good one.
too relaxed.
What did they used to say with what did they used to say? Go along to get along. In the 60s. What do they call the 60s? The days of the times of the when we was the uprising, the protesting. Yeah. But they used to say that. And when you're in this truth, right, there's no go along to get along. Yes, you're in the world, and we have to use the world, but not to the fullness. We have to be polite and courteous. You got it?
Swinging 60s.
Yeah, but it's something else. It's just basically what was happening. There was a lot of protesting coming down. Civil rights. That's
Civil
all.
rights,
That's what I was. That's the word. The civil rights era. And how did they get us through Martin Luther King? He came with that go along, and we got to love them to peace. Love the hate out of them. Anyway, so I'll say this again, and brothers know anyway. Brothers will know, because over there, the brother also, he was making mention of his his elder who was in the military, and they don't those military-minded brothers who have been in the military, they can't mess about. And the men under them, they're on a certain minds. They have a certain mindset. That's the word. Men that come out of the military and now in the truth, they still have a certain mindset.
Yeah, it's like habits.
When they see slip-ups, I can see it. I can feel the spirit. When they see them little slip-ups, them little things there, it's like the chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure that they tighten up. I see what they're saying. I get it. Make sure you tighten it up, because the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Any weak links, tighten up so that the chain is strong. Yeah. Carry on. Make the point. David had the same spirit too. Remember, all them men there, his entourage, them men there potentially are back.
Yeah.
With the same spirit. Lord willing, we're in that same spirit. Lord willing, we could be we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. But we do know, what we do know is, we've got elders above us that are not choir boys. That we do know. Carry on.
So verse 6 now.
Or never were choir boys. And the men of old, the old men of the prophets of old, we're looking at the examples today. Lord willing, we ain't going to get all of them in. Ain't going to get all of them in. I wish I could, but like I say, when that spirit is sparked. Go on.
1 Samuel 30:6. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him.
Yeah, you see? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, your wife was talking, but I've lost some things, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying they were, but they're upset with themselves as well. They're upset with themselves, yeah? Carry on, Baba Kusha.
It says, people spake of stoning him, because the soul of the people was grieved. Yeah. Every man for his sons.
Their morale, they've lowered their morale. You know, when their morale has gone low because they took an L. Yeah, yes, we take some L's, and can we take some L's? Have we been taking L's?
Oh no, yeah.
Right, and from them L's, we're learning now. Well, we've got to tighten up, because we don't most I don't allow you to take L's just for the sake of it. It's for you to tighten up. Yep.
Right, so it says, because the soul of the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters, but David encouraged himself in the Lord, Yahweh, his power.
I want to make another point too. When the brother was beating down on that could have been a 5% Gaddite. And that's a whole nother video. Getting into some of the true, the Gadites, the Reubenites, the warrior tribe, the Manassanites as well, two warrior tribes. He was a counterfeit, I believe. But what the brother said was that you don't know. These men of the Lord, we don't know who they are. I don't know who you are. You don't know. You understand?
I don't know.
So what you think you're doing? You understand? Give people their respect that is due. Yeah. Now, ultimately, this the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, right? If you want to get that, and then we can come back to this, because we want to making sure we're going to bring the balance as well. We're not pushing. We want to be fit, and we want to be healthy. We want to treat our body like a temple. There's times where you may have to flee. Jacob Trouble is here. Flee from or flee to. Yeah.
So 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, to the pulling down of strongholds.
Yeah, and there's another one as well. That's a good one. Is that Zechariah chapter 12 and 8 or 8 and 12? So we know, right? Yes, even if we're fit, we're not gonna go around as Captain Saberholes or superheroes. Right? We're waiting upon the Lord. But the fitness could be, as we know, to carry on doing the work, or if we can see a way where we can flee and escape, we flee and escape, because we know that the Most High is in control. You can put up a curse. That's why we learn the curses. Shalak, Rayam, Wa Nasham, Wa. You know, we learn the curses. Or in certain circumstances, that could be your first what do they call it? Your first defense to attacking the Hebrew prayer. And last, you got it?
Zechariah 12 and 8, it says, In that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David and the house of David.
So if you can't really, you know, as what the elder said too, when you get, you know, if you're going to learn the grand and the leg locks, the headlock, the guillotine, we don't have to be experts on it, because we know at that time when it actually happens, or when Yehoshua comes, when he gets his lick back, he's going to endow even the feeble among us with spiritual power, and we're going to be as gods.
That's
and
what it says.
Yeah, it's like it. Go on.
It says, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, shall be as powers, as the angel of the Lord before them.
There you go. You want to say something on it?
No, that's it, man. You know, as the scriptures say, you know, when the enemy shall running like a flood, then shall Yahweh shall lift up a standard. So, of course, part of that standard will be spiritual power, and of course, divine intervention to fight against these Edomites when they're rolling with the, over there, the American National Guard, and of course, over here, with whatever special forces that they go over here to roll out in the UK, and for those who reject them or to. So that's the point right there. Yahweh Shimei shall be our help and our shield. Psalms 115 of verse 9.
Yeah, so that's the war. That's the ultimate war. And for those of us that really don't or can't get into the martial arts side of things, which we're encouraging you to, because you're going to feel a sense of achievement if you do, if you can. You're going to feel a sense of achievement and accomplishment. You're going to feel good about yourself as a man. But even if you can't, the Most High done tell us already, even the feeble among us shall be as gods at the house of David. And the weapons of our warfare, because we don't want to have that spirit where, because we know some stuff, we're going to go, which men of the Lord weren't like that. There was always the ones that were provoked, as we saw. We're going to get back to it. And there was always the ones that were provoked and they took action. They ended it. And also what the elder said, one more thing what he said, was that it's better to have something and not need it or not use it than to want something and can't have it.
Like a warrior in a garden. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
Woo, shit.
It's the same thing.
Some words of wisdom right there. So yeah, and what ultimately matters, we're talking about these words of wisdom, but when the heat of the battle, because I always talk about the heat of the battle. As someone who's been in, and this is not me, you know, I've been in some, before the truth, for the most part, I've been in some battles, right? And this is YouTube, but the Most High ultimately always delivered me out of it. And I'll give the glory to Him. But either He could have put the spirit on me He could download whatever I needed, right? Or the training that I had through my mentor, or He gave me certain ability to think on my feet and take a move out of there. I've mentioned some of them back in the days when I used to go certain clubs where He just made me see a little entrance. You know, the scriptures tell us He doesn't let us go beyond what we can bear. He always allows a way out for us to escape. But that's the glory, and I'll give the glory to Him. But I knew some things, and the Most High made it come back to my mind, and I was able to implement it there and then. It's not just about talking. You understand? So carry on.
This is 1 Samuel 30 and verse 6. Again, it says, And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord, his power.
Now here's the point, as we this is bringing the balance as well. He encouraged himself with the Lord, his power. What verses are you at?
about to start verse 7.
All right, carry on reading. We're going to get the point of this. Read up to 10 and we got it.
1 Samuel 30 and verse 7. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David.
Right, let's look up that word there.
Ephod.
Right? Yeah. Look up. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, Ahimelech, son, I pray. You see what's happening right there? This is a carnal situation, but he's dealing with it spiritually. But not only spiritually. Let's look up the word.
What, ephod?
Yeah, look up the word.
Oh, so it says ephod here. It says a priestly garment, shoulder cape or mantle, outer garment. It says worn by any ordinary priest and made of white stuff. It says worn by the high priest, more costly woven of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and linen threads, provided with shoulder pieces and a breastpiece of like material,
Alright.
ornamented with gems and gold.
Right. So it's like you're getting into a kind of a warlike state. I'm thinking in the spirit though. Talking about sometimes, brother B, you when you're studying, sometimes you're in a warlike state. You're studying, but you're in a warlike state.
It's like training, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
It's like you're in a warlike state. Praying, you could be praying like you're in a warlike state. You ain't doing, no one's catching no, you ain't catching no blows, no, you ain't giving no one no blows. You know what that reminds me of when Hezekiah, when he was threatened by Sennacherib, right, the king of Assyria, and he went into a warlike state. He put the prayer in writing. He put the prayer to Yahweh. I've done it. I mentioned it yesterday. If there's time, we can bring it out today. But basically, he put the prayer to the Most High. He was in a warlike state, and that prayer he put up that same night. One angel killed 145,000 of the Assyrian armies, and the king was Sennacherib, the king of Assyria. So that gives us the balance that yes, it's good to know some martial arts, but sometimes you don't even need it. The Spirit of the Lord had the angel intervene.
divine intervention.
Now, what did Bruce Lee do? How many? If you saw any of his movies, how many men did he beat up? 10 men, yeah? So right, he kick up 10 men. But you can't compare that to what King Hezekiah did. Prayer is the powerful, is the most powerful thing. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We're not knocking martial arts. We're not knocking knowing some stuff. It's blessed. You use it when you need it. But prayer is the killer. Prayer is the killer. I'm saying it, and it's not an overstatement. Prayer is the killer. If the Most High wants to act that out. Yeah, go on.
Verse 8, it says, and David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed.
Yeah, 600 men that were with him. So he pursued them. Once again, you can pursue someone. You can't be he's able-bodied. Let me just say it like that. Able-bodied. And we want to be to the best of our ability. And I'm learning as I'm young in the truth myself. I'm learning, it's good. And you feel good when you're able-bodied. Like, to come to meet you today, because I put in a little bit of beginning of the week. I was kind of ready. I was looking forward. You know what I mean? I was looking forward to it. I'll be able to
Energized.
put it into practice. The things I've been doing. When you do your videos, however you do them, you're looking forward to it because you're doing it with a spring in your step. Yeah.
That's it. So verse 9 again, 1 Samuel 30 and 9. So David went
We're gonna close that after this, yeah.
So David went he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed, and David pursued he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor.
See, Lord willing, we're going. Now you can apply that spiritually as well, but physically you need to be in tip-top condition, man. If you're gonna be moving with David, if you're gonna be one of David's secret service, I'm just using, you're just talking in the spirit. You want to be able to have something going on in there, in the tank.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
some
why-
of them fainted, didn't it?
Yeah, 200. You know, they were faint, they were weak, so they were holding camp. You can see it that way. The
Right.
400 came along. They were active. They were ready.
That makes me think. I'm thinking already. I'm thinking about things that I'm putting in my body now. You know, I'll make sure that I keep the temple somewhat clean. And the elders, once again, they've already been saying, just because you're in behind enemy lines, you can't just let ourselves go. Obviously, over there is worse. You know, with all the standard of the food, but we don't want to let ourselves go. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost as well. Yeah, carry on.
That was verse 10.
That was 10, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, 11.
Alright, so this is 1 Samuel 30 and 11. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water.
Right, that's really the point, though. Yeah, that's the
Verse
point.
10.
They pursued them and they recovered all their goods. Right? Slakia, 18. Jump down to 18.
1 Samuel 30
Yeah.
and verse 18 says it, and David recovered all that the Amalekites
Right.
had carried
The big
away.
nosed people with the smile hats. Yep. And this is huge. This is also, as you read it as well in Numbers, isn't it? They know their future, their judgments.
Generation to generation.
Yep. Yep. And who would really, in their right mind, would want to war with the Most High? But that's just their lot. That's just their lot.
So 1 Samuel 30 and 18. So look, I just realized what you said. That is forever. You got to keep having war with the Most High. That's the punishment for Amalek. So anyway, so 1 Samuel 30 and 18, and David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives.
Yeah.
And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all.
Right. So talk about heist. Was that 11?
Yeah, that was 19.
All right. Last one, 20.
So 1 Samuel 30 and 20, and David took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before those other cattle, and said, "This is David's spoil."
Right. So we never initiate. We're not the Captain Saberholes or superheroes, which really, let me say it right, the 144,000 men and King David and Yehoshua. Our elders say, and I see what he's saying, they're the real superheroes. So yes, in the spirit, they are the real superheroes. But we're not going around as troublemakers. But if you mess with them, right, we see that there was no choir boys, man. No choir boys going on. Because you've got the likes of people like Volker Malone walking around thinking that he can just poke his finger in your eye spiritually, poke his finger in your eye, and he's, oh, you're a Christian. What are you talking about hate for? And they're trying to put the T word on you. But don't you read the scriptures, man? Read the scriptures. And that's just 2 examples there of how David used to get down, and the Amalekite. What's his name? Riser. Talking about Volker Malone. Something Riser, innit? Something Riser, right? We believe you're one of these.
Agent
Right?
Riser.
Agent Riser. Yep. We believe you was one of these. So in the spirit, right, this is what's going to take place, right? You was risen up. Let me tell you what, we opened with it. Let's close with it. Exodus 9 and 16. You're walking around, chucking it on people, throwing your weight around, but you don't know you're just a pawn. You're just a pawn. Because we've been humiliated, and we've took it, the humiliation, before the world. Got it?
Exodus 9 and 16. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Right. So you got the likes of, DJ Trump, Nero, walking around telling, sending troops, National Guards in certain states, and it's humiliation, but really it's just that ancient perpetual hatred being displayed. As last week we spoke about the devil be shining his horns. Did we not get a little example of what happened there? A lot of them have it, and they want to be able to brandish it. I made the point that that guy, he just brandished it. Some bugged out Edomite. He just brandished that little weapon, and in fact, that weapon, they found out it was just what they call it, a cap gun, or what they call it, cap gun, gap
Stage
guns.
guns.
No, there's certain guns, slug gun. You know, over here they call them slug guns, but over there they call it. There's another word that they use, but it wasn't even real, and it was a rough up thing anyway. It wasn't even working.
Okay.
It wasn't even working. So anyway, that's really. Some of them are they're brandishing it because they're just desperate, but some of them have real ones and they want to brandish it, and stuff. Hence they're mobilizing. But you know what? You be mobilizing your whole Hashem Yoshai, his angels, right? Unnumbered, innumerable angels, and you've seen them. You've seen the chariots.
Yeah.
He's mobilizing. He's watching you. He's got you. He's got you under the scopio. So you've only been brought up only to be humiliated, right, for the whole world to see. And at the same time, the 144,000, Yahushua and King David are going to get praise and fame, man. Right? Hence bringing you down, and they're lit back at the same time. So we're going to close it there, leave it there.
Yeah. So, Shalom Akim, Yaratazai found it edifying and exhorting, helped build you up, and also encourage you as well. Shalom and Yaratazai, found it edifying.